Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I'm not in my house. I'm actually at my friend Mikey's, at his grandparents' little cabin called a komin in Croatian tradition. You do most of your cooking on open flame, outside in a specific outdoor cooking area, and we're making something called bistecca florentina, which is a gigantic 3 pounds of meat or 1.3 kilograms of meat. It gets seared off on timber and then cut up into segments and then re-seared. So the inside is technically speaking raw. I was just trying to get that beautiful crust on the outside, and that way everyone can, sear off a piece and have it cooked to their liking. Either way, this is a great entry or opening to the all-time greatest red wine for meat. Hey guys, welcome back to the Thirsty Mason. Today I'm actually at my mate Mikey's house because lockdown's over. So, Givoli Mikey.
Cheers, Anthony.
Yes, I got. Here we go. Cheers, non did.
Cheers.
Yeah. Today's topic is my all-time favorite blended wine. Okay, everyone goes on about the Bordeaux blend, which is the most traditional red wine blend in the world, which is the Cabernet Sauvignon mixed with Merlot, and then one other grape variety, which is usually Shiraz or more less renowned wines such as the Cabernet Franc or the Carmenere, for example. There's multiple different blends from Bordeaux, but the one country that Australia can honestly rival with and actually match in France is actually the traditional Rhone Valley. And the Rhone Valley blend has not changed from day one. Grenache, Shiraz, Mataro, or Mourvedre. We call it Mataro in Australia because we have to make everything Australian. We make an abbreviated version of it. Breakfast is brekkie. That's how it is. So, this, and what I have here, first and foremost, is an example of a straight Grenache from the Barossa Valley, our Rhone Valley here in Australia. The place is most famous for the infamous GSM blend or the straight Shiraz. And I want you to just observe that although it is a rather heavy red wine, it can be still seen through at the edges. Okay? Grenache has an immense level of flavor. Alright, and it tends to thrive next to Shiraz purely because they have almost identical growing times. There's 1 week's difference in harvest between the Grenache, the Mataro, and the Shiraz. So you can come through, pay your labourers for 3 weeks worth of work and know that you're going to get your stuff all done in one go, which is perfect. Now, when I pour out a proper GSM, the Grenache, Shiraz, and Mourvedre blend, understand that Shiraz is the major driving component. It's usually 60% Shiraz, and the other two are either blended in a 30-10 or 20-20 percentage. And look at the richness of the colour immediately. Okay? You can see that the left is much lighter than the right, because that Shiraz has amped up the jamminess, made a lot more body to it. So Grenache is a heavy flavoured wine, but it's much lighter in glass. It has less viscosity. The correct term is the meniscus. Okay, and you can notice the meniscus when you actually look at the shine on a brand new wine. These are 2020. And you notice that when you have a higher age, you see a lot of wine drinkers going like this and looking at the shimmer or the reflection on the wine. And because that diminishes down to nothing once it ages. So you can tell whether a wine has good age on it based off the shine or the mirror finish on the meniscus. Interesting fact. And also around the edge, it goes into a deeper, darker brown, because that oak presence is now presenting itself because the tannin is starting to relax. Basically, red wine, the preservative in it is the tannin, and as it relaxes, okay, all the other characteristics of it start to evolve and show off. I'm going to be doing another video where I'm going to be opening up a bottle of 1995 or 1997, and I want to show you an image of the meniscus properly close up so you guys can identify it later on. But let's go through and taste the GSM. Right, and what are we looking for when it comes to GSM? GSM is such a complex, big wine, and it can be produced rather cheaply, which is what makes it such an amazing wine for beginners to start drinking in order to finally understand the subtle nuances of high quality wine. Okay? Guys, finish off your glasses so I can pour you some GSM. You guys let me know what you guys reckon. Okay? Okay, fantastic. Here we go. Brother Mick?
Shall I cleanse the palate with some water?
I reckon I'm just going to pour a little bit of the GSM in.
Alright.
Give it a swish around and just drink it.
Alright.
I just gave you a bit of this.
Take your time, then. I'm not gonna force you to get drunk for no reason. It's all good. Okay, Brother Mick. When you put your nose on this, okay, you're gonna have the most interesting experience, I'm sure, because one of the major characteristics of GSM is smoked meat.
Okay.
Which no other wine seems to have.
Smoked meat.
Yes, it has the smell of roasted meat. Which freaks you out because your brain doesn't go there, making this like the ultimate wine to have with barbecue, really. Okay, but then fight past the smoked meat. What are you looking for? What are the major characteristics of Grenache? And that's why I purchased the Grenache here. Okay, put your nose onto Grenache and you'll notice. All right, that is where most of the meatiness comes from. Okay, that richness from the soil really picks up inside the Grenache, and that lends that meatiness. Okay? And then fight past that meatiness, all of a sudden blackberries. They start popping through, alright, making their presence felt. But the Mataro is not generally giving anything, and you're probably wondering what the hell's the point of having it in the blend? Mouthfeel. Mataro is a fundamentally rich, big mouth filling wine. So when I have Grenache, it sits on my tongue and then disappears almost like, give it about 5 seconds. Okay, there's nothing bonding it to my tongue. The Mataro adds length. Alright, it turns your wine drinking experience from in and gone, but now I'm talking and it's sitting on my tongue.
It's a note with sustain.
Exactly, it sustains it for a longer period of time. Now, can you imagine having fatty meat, having that saturate your tongue, drinking a GSM, that long finish is going to mingle with any of the meat juices on your tongue, evolving the flavor to the next level. But then again, what's Grenache good for then? Okay, Grenache has a short-lived span on the tongue, and it's meaty. What the hell can I possibly do with this? Canapes, 100%. If you're doing tapas, you need Grenache in your life. In fact, the Spanish call it Grenache, and that is the fundamental go-to for tapas. Okay, short-lived, big burst, chorizo, super spicy stuff. It already has such a big impact on the tongue. Okay, spice with something that sits on your tongue. Mate, if you have a curry with a GSM, you're the stupidest person alive. You want to know why? Because curry is going to sit on your tongue, it's going to amplify that heat, and then that Mataro is going to linger, and it's going to drag that heat on for a longer period of time than it needs to be. That's why you'll never ever have a heavy-duty GSM with Thai food or Indian food or even like spicy sausage, because it amplifies that spice to the next level. That tannin, that length on the tongue, that heat just lingers for hours and hours. Whereas with a Grenache, it doesn't have that huge amount of like, I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. That's basically what it is. And if you can get your hands on a straight Mataro, believe it or not, a Mataro, you have to drink it a little bit older. Otherwise it has tannins that will take the fucking fillings out of your teeth. Alright? Like you'll be crying. But it's a great wine in and of itself. But not many people make it because you have to consider wine as not only just a passion or an art form, you have to consider it as a business. Alright, who the hell wants to drink a wine that's gonna rip your friggin' face off with tannins at an early stage? No one's gonna be patient enough to buy it and let it sit down and mellow out for 7-8 years, you know what I mean? Point of the story is, if you want to have a quick, fun, lovely, light red wine, go with Grenache. Okay? But if you want a wine to have with your roast dinner, you have people coming around, you have a nice steak, you have a nice barbecue, and you don't want to break the bank, GSM is hard to beat. And it's my all-time favorite blend because I like to eat a lot of red meat. So, if you can get yourself on this particular brand, Kelisk, Now, these guys are a staple in the Barossa, but they also have a higher level in their vineyard called Kelly Miser, or Kellis Miser. Basically, they have a wine called the Old Bastard. Terrible name, I know. It's probably about $350 a bottle there, so it is a fucking bastard. But still, it is one of the highest grade wines I've ever put into my mouth. Still, alright guys, I hope that you guys learned a little bit about GSMs today. Okay? Hope you guys go out and try them. Alright? A good GSM should set you back about $25. That's what this one called me. It cost me. And you know what? I'm bloody enjoying it. Alright, Grenache. Alright, say just a bit cheaper, you can get a good Grenache from the $18 to $20 range. And you'll be enjoying yourself. Okay. Is there high grade Grenache? There are, but let's not get into that till later stages. Grenache as a standalone wine should be cheap, easy drinking, and made for just regular antipasti. If you're going to have like prosciutto and cheese, it's hard to beat. Anyway guys, stay thirsty and thank you. Like, share and subscribe down the bottom and all that good stuff.